Hello, Cougar Nation, and welcome back to the CUC softball field for some more softball in action. It's the Cougars hosting the visiting Rockford Regions as both of these teams seek to right the ship through NAC play. Rockford coming into River Forest, sitting at 4-4 in conference. And it's been pretty cut and dry as to how they've gotten there. Take a doubleheader, get swept in a doubleheader, do the same thing again, most recently coming off of a doubleheader this past Friday against Concordia, Wisconsin, which they were shut out in both games in 5 innings. The Cougars coming in today not having the season they've wanted so far, sitting at 2-8 in conference through their first 10 games. And it's been a lot of close losses for the Cougars. They'll look to right the ship and get back into the winning column to continue the momentum from their most recent win, a 6-3 win over St. Norbert in the second game of this doubleheader. This past Saturday, lost that first game 10-3. And it'll be Rockford headed out there as the visiting team to bat first today. Leading off for the Regents is number 8, Tommy Hill. On deck to start the day, Brooklyn Lee, and in batting in the hole, Liz Moyes. Hill up to the plate. And showing that slap hitting, taking the first pitch of the day from your starter for the Cougars, Alyssa Campos. Campos coming into today, her 7th game started, has a 7.44 ERA. 17 earned runs allowed. 34 innings pitched. That's grounded to short, over to first. And they get her. Hill's not able to beat the throw. Nice quick grab and nice quick grab and fire from Emily Garcia to get it over to first. And that rings up the first. And coming up, batting second is Brooklyn Lee. Lee coming into today. Put up some great stats for Rockford on the year. 395 batting average, slug with an OPS over 1,000. She gets on base at 460, and that's exactly what the Regents are going to want to start the day, is just to get a runner on base. Campos on the year, only 4 walks, only 1 strikeout. Gives up a lot of contact. How the day is going to go is depending on where that contact goes so far through that first out. That's what you want to see out of that contact pitching. Keep it in the infield, keep it on the ground. 2-0 count on Lee. The 2-0 pitch is in there for strike 1, 2-1. Here's the 2-1 pitch from Campos. That's well off the plate. Ball 3. 3-1 count on Campos. Lee slugging solidly. As here's a 3-1 pitch. That's popped towards second, and it's dropped. Eliza Auger nearly able to grab it on the run. That is an awkward ball to field. Popped up, but it's low. It gets to the round quick. It's right in front of second base. Auger can't field it on the run and leads in safely. That brings up the threat of this Regents lineup, Liz Moyes, on the year. Slugging almost 900. Hitting 373 is that pitch between the legs. And that moves Lee up to second. Hajiq can't field the pitch cleanly. But yeah, Moyes on the year has been crushing it. 880 slugging percentage, still batting 376 home runs as that one's fouled straight back into the netting. Makes it a 1-1 count, and something that Moyes, batting right-handed in that left side box, would love to see is that wind. It's been blowing hard in that southeast direction. As she pops that up towards short center field, Auger's able to make the play there. That makes it 2 outs. As Moyes got under it. And with 2 away and a runner on second, up to the plate comes Peyton Willenkamp. Willenkamp on the year, just 3 RBIs, very small sample size for the first baseman, just 15 at-bats, 5 hits through those 15 at-bats. as she takes the first pitch low. Hajik's able to keep Lee at second. 1-0 count on Willingham. Campos fires. That's high, ball 2. Two balls, no strikes, 2 outs, runner at second for the Regents. And that's laced into left field for a base hit. Lee rounds third. She's headed home. She will score. And it's an RBI single for Peyton Willenkamp, who gets Rockford rolling in the first. Exactly the kind of hitting you want. Shorten it up. Just get a clean swing out. Just float it into the short outfield. Nothing crazy, nothing hard. Just get it to the ground and drive in a run. And it puts the Regents up 1-0 in the first inning. Up to the plate now is Olivia Lysott, the senior from Elkhorn, Wisconsin. One of those couple of out-of-state players for this Rockford squad. Lysott, again, not too large of a sample size, but through that small-ish sample size, batting .500 as he drills that way out of here off the scoreboard. Olivia Lysott sends that one way out. It's a 3-0 lead for Rockford with 2 outs. The Regents are getting things going. Olivia Lysott through that smallish sample size, slugging .923, 3 home runs, make it 4. And again, that one got under it, bit of a moonshot, taking advantage of that strong southeast wind we've got going on in River Forest today, just carrying it, landing around the outs marker on the scoreboard. And McKenna Morris up to the plate, wants a piece of it herself, takes a big swing and a miss to start her account 0-1. The 1 pitch is low, ball 1. Not the start to the day that Campos wanted. And out of all of these Cougars pitchers, she does allow the highest opponent batting average. That comes with being a contact pitcher, but she's also kept those extra base hits to a minimum, especially relative to those other pitchers. Just 1 home run, 1 triple, and 5 doubles through 16 innings pitched. Gives up her second home run of the year. As here's a 2-1 to Morris. That's just high for ball 3. And now Hajik's going to call time, head out, just check in with her pitcher, reset things. At this point, you just want to get out of the inning right now, just immediately reset from that home run. And get your own bats up to the plate. Your own offense hasn't had a chance to bat yet. You don't know what kind of damage they'll be able to do. And you want to get Rockford onto the field as quick as possible. Here's a 3-1. And that's drilled into left field. Back to back! McKenna Morris into the baseball bullpen. Just barreled it up. And no doubter for McKenna Morris, and Rockford just crushing it out to a 4-0 lead early. Morris only 4 hits on the season coming into the day. Picks up her first home run of the season with that hit. It's a 4-0 lead for Rockford, and with that, we'll get an early pitching change for the Cougars. Alyssa Lopez headed out onto the mound to replace Alyssa Campos. A rough start to the day for the Cougars, a rough start to the day for Campos. And the Cougars will try to bounce back when we come back on the Cougar Sports Network. And we're back on the Cougar Sports Network. Alyssa Lopez out on the mound for the Cougars, trying to just get out of the top of the first. 2 home runs allowed by the Cougars, a 4-0 deficit already. As up to the plate comes Mia Cosentino. Cosentino on the year, coming into the day, batting .370 on 27 at-bats. Gets on base at a strong 45 rate as that's drilled straight to short. Auger grabs out of the air, and that'll end the inning. Lopez, 2 pitches, and gets out of it, but the damage is done. Rockford off to a strong start in River Forest. They lead 4-0, and now the Cougars gonna have a chance to respond. We'll take you through that starting lineup for the Cougars right now. Leading off for Concordia, the second baseman, number 22, Emily Garcia. Batting second, number 4, Haley Goldsby. She's worked her way up that batting order over the year, batting .356 on the season so far. Batting third, Arissa Santos, the probably top threat in that Cougars lineup, batting .440 on the season, slugging .580, getting on base above 50% of her at-bats. Batting fourth, number 13, Melissa Ajik, and behind her is number 17, Mikyler Morris, batting .339 and .364 respectively. Batting seventh, Maya Lorenas, ahead of number 11, Lilling Southern, who's batting 8th. And then batting ninth, number 5, Eliza Auger. On the mound today for the Cougars is Alyssa Lopez. And we'll see how those pitching changes shake out the batting order for the Cougars.
Number 22, Emily Garcia.
Well, leading things off for the Cougs, Emily Garcia on the mound today for Rockford to start it up is McKenna Morris. Morris coming fresh off of her first home run of the season. Headed out on the mound to get to work against the Cougars. A very small sample size hitting on the year for Morris, a much larger sample size on the mound. 17 innings pitched. A 6.18 ERA on the year for Morris. Gives up a lot of hits. As that first pitch goes for a ball, 1-0. 5 walks on the year for Morris. No strikeouts, and there's a hit by pitch. Garcia is going to get on base to start things up for the Cougars. So there you go. Got a man on to start the inning. And you love to see that. 1 on, nobody out. As up to the plate for Concordia comes Haley Goldsby. Goldsby on the year, like we mentioned, coming in batting .356, slugging .475. She's going to bunt that to the mound. Morris charging, firing to first. They'll get it there in time for out number 1. Moves Garcia over to second. So the sac bunt advances a player into scoring position. So with 1 out and a man on second, it's Arissa Santos coming up to the plate. Santos batting .440, .580 slugging percentage, on base at .517, only 7 RBIs on the year for Santos. Hasn't had a lot of opportunities with runners on base. As she'll take that first pitch for a ball. 1-0 count on Santos. The 1-0 off the plate again, 2-0 count. Morris yet to throw a strike today. The one in the zone is bunted down, as that's a foul ball. And it'll bring Santos to a 2-1 count. That one ran in on her, chopped towards the bleachers. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out, runner on second. Morris fires. And that is a slow pitch making its way past home plate into the dirt for ball 3. Trying to get Santos with the off speed after you fire a hot one inside. And a bit too slow. Santos is able to see it and back off. And that time, she'll ground that over to short. Picked on the hop. Over to first. Off the plate. And Santos is able to beat the tag. Madigan trying to reach back and lay that down. Couldn't get to it. Sorry, Willenkamp couldn't get the tag. The throw from the shortstop, Brooklyn Lee, way offline. So now you got runners on first and second and just one out. Concordia taking advantage of that defensive misstep with Melissa Hajik up to the plate. Hajik hit her first home run of the season for Concordia in the past week. Batting .339 on the year. And she's going to drill that fair past third base. Garcia's going to come home. I mean, you're not really going to get a call on impeding the runner for that since Garcia made it home anyways, but just laid out the third baseman, Nicole Paris, and it looked like Paris, backed off a little bit after seeing the ball get by, and then Garcia's coming in hot around third base, right in the path of the runner, and both of them just collide, go to ground. Doesn't end up affecting the play. Santos moves up to third. Hajik safe at second. It's an RBI double. Cougars on the board, 4-1. That double just barely hopping over third base. Perfectly placed from Hajik. Now you got the bases loaded. Morris runs it too far inside. It's off the knee of Morris. So McKyler Morris for the Cougars will head safely to first base. McKenna Morris going to take a timeout with her catcher to calm things down and try to get reset. And after the Cougars went down 4-0 after the top of the first, they've suddenly got a great opportunity to get back into this one. Bases loaded, one out for Concordia. Alyssa Campos up to the plate. And she'll take that first pitch in the zone for a strike. Campos would love to undo some of the damage that happened when she was on the mound in the top of the first. She's got a .302 average, 14 RBIs on the year. Love to add a couple with this at-bat. And she'll take that high, ball one. Number one at the plate, 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, and 1 run for the Cougars in the bottom of the first. McKenna Morris steps, winds, fires. That's grounded past second base for a base hit. In to score is Santos. Here comes Hajik. In safely. McKyler Morris is able to get back safely to second. It's an RBI single for Alyssa Campos. Knocks in 2. And it's a 1-run game, 4-3. A worm burner up the middle of the field. And the throw in for Hajik. Honestly, it looks like Moise got the catch, and if she'd stepped back a bit, maybe had a better route to the batter, could have made the tag, but just too slow to try and get around to apply it. So 2-run score for Concordia. And now just down 1, you got runners on first and second, 1 out for Maya Lorenas. Who's going to find herself in a 1-1 count. One ball, 1 strike. That's high, make it 2 balls. Only 15 pitches thrown so far for McKenna Morris. So a lot of damage happening quickly as that's fouled to the dugout for strike 2. 2-2 count on Lorenas, batting .327 on the year, 7 RBIs for the first baseman. Morris fires again, and that's fouled into the net. Another one of those awesome, which is the velo difference from McKenna Morris's pitching. Either you're going to get a heater, that honestly it looks like a typical heater, but then the off speed, it's really a floater coming from the mound to the plate, and as you can kind of see there from Lorenas, it's a difficult ball to hit sometimes because it's so abnormal. As takes that one high and outside, full count on Lorenas. McKenna Morris trying to get to that second out. And that's fouled. Lorenas will stay alive. McKenna Morris finally getting one of those longer at-bats. Here's a 3-2. That's high, way high for ball 4, and the bases are loaded. Cougars keep the line moving, and that brings Lindley Southern up to the plate. Southern 268 on the season. Got 6 RBIs, and she'll have an opportunity to pick up some more with the bases loaded. Takes that high for ball 1. And part of the problem you're getting with McKenna Morris on the sound, the problem she's having is she's not able to really find the zone and put some competitive pitches in there, as gets a whiff from Southern. That one ran inside low. But you look at that last pitch of the Maya Lorenas at bat, full count, 3-2. You just got to get a competitive pitch in there, and it's way high as Southern's going to float that into center field. 1 runs in, and the Cougars tie it up at 4. Lindley Southern times that up perfectly. It was that floater just floating its way onto home base, and Southern just barrels it up, gets it down onto the grass, and the Cougars even at 4. Bases still loaded, just 1 out now for Eliza Auger. All 9 hitters for the Cougars getting a chance to bat in the first inning. That one runs inside, ball 1. 1-0 count on Auger. Batting .245 on the year. And that does catch the edge of the zone, strike 1. And with that .245 batting average, she does have 9 RBIs. We got another RBI situation here. Is that one high for ball 2? And the Cougars, they have been making contact with these pitches from Morris, but a lot of it's coming from getting into favorable counts. You're seeing a lot of balls. You're getting to those 2-1, 3-1 counts where you know Morris has to throw a competitive pitch. That's a second, floated to second for 1. Drives in a run, so the Cougars take the lead 5-4. Eliza Auger gets the knock in on a fielder's choice. Makes it 2 outs. As they get Southern at second, weren't able to field it quick enough. It was a bit of an awkward grounder, slow, knocked off of McKenna Morris. So it's 2 outs and runners at the corners. Back up to the plate is Emily Garcia. Garcia scored that first run of the inning for the Cougars. Was hit by a pitch in her first at-bat. As she's in a 1-1 count now, Morris dropping that into the bottom of the zone. One count on Garcia. Morris gets too much air under that one, makes it a 2-1 count. And it hasn't really been bad fielding from either of these teams, especially Rockford. The problem they're running into is just the Cougars are placing them perfectly short into the outfield. It's too deep for the infield to get to, too close for the outfield to get to. And it's just a masterpiece in manufacturing runs. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs for number 22. Runners at the corners. Pitch on the way. That floater way high for ball 3. It's a full count. Three balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. McKenna Morris fires. And that's fouled into the Rockford dugout. Keeps the at-bat alive. Three-two on the way. That's floated into right field. And settling under it and making the play is Lysott to end the inning. Rockford gets out of it. Cougars bat around 1 through 9. They put 5 up on the board to undo that damage from the first inning. And after going down 4-0 after the top of the first, they take the lead 5-4, headed into the top of the second. So far, it's a shootout in River Forest, and we come back on the Cougars Sports Network. Welcome back to the Cougar Sports Network. Top of the second, and what's been an offensive show in River Forest. Cougars lead 5-4 as Sophia Hosey will come up to the plate for Rockford, her first at-bat of the day. The Regents put up 4 in the first inning off of a pair of home runs from Olivia Lysott and McKenna Morris. And that's into left field for a base hit. Halsey. Yeah, it's a leadoff runner on. And it's a man at first. No outs for Rockford. That'll bring Kieran Madigan up to the plate. In this bottom of the order, so I see a bit of a steep drop in production for Rockford. Madigan only batting 194, smallish sample size as she shows bunt. Halsey's able to get back to first safely. Madigan only batting 194, does have 12 RBIs to show for it. And she doesn't have a runner in scoring position here, does have a man at first. The 1-0 pitch again showing bunt, takes it high, ball 2. Madigan working that first base nicely, taking the lead when she can get it, going back whenever Garcia comes over to cover. Here's the 2-0 on the way. Showing bunt, that's down right in front of home plate. Lorenas turns and fires, it's past first base into right field. Southern charges, they're able to keep Madigan at first. But Halsey's going to move all the way to third. Bang, bang play. Force the defense to make the play. Got a little bit of an error, and suddenly Rockford's right back in business. Runners at the corners, no outs, and you got the top of the order coming up to the plate. That'll be scored as a throwing error on Lorenas. And was the first player to the ball. There were a couple other players there, and that's not really the player you want making that play. Lorena's charging in from first, has to pick it up and whip around a full 180 to throw it to first, and that's got to be a fluid play, one that you can make without really looking where you're throwing, and that time just a bit too low, a bit too much to the left. Garcia's not able to pick it, so you got the bases loaded for Tommy Hill. Lopez fires, and Hill takes that for a strike. Throw down to third, not in time. But the distraction works. The extended lead from Halsey is going to give Madigan the chance to steal second uncontested. So now you got two in scoring position for Hill. Hill's got 7 ribbies on the year. As she shows bunt, that's down, and it'll go foul. Exactly what you're looking for out of this style of hitter. You got that slap hit. And, you know, the bunts will work out great. You got to keep them straight. That one just a bit too much angle. The Cougars infield, first and third in, second and short, covering off everything else. Lopez winds and fires. That's down towards short. Augers got it. Caught in a rundown is Halsey. She's safe at home. And safe at third is Madigan. A beautiful slide. Going around the plate and darting the hand in. Sarah O'Malley Fisher from the Cougars not too happy with the calls. A couple of close plays, and Rockford able to make it work out. A soft grounder to short. Looked like the Cougars couldn't decide who was going to get it. Auger having to run all the way in from the back of the infield. Going home, and then you go over to first. You don't make the play there. You go home. You have a rundown, but the throw to third is off. So then Halsey's able to go home. You throw down to third. That throw is on time, but a nice slide from Halsey to work around the tag. And amidst all of it, Hill making her way to second. Now you've got second and third, and that ball chopped in front of third. The Cougars cover it off. So runners stay at second and third. Brooklyn Lee, her first time up today, picked up a single. Here's the 1-1 pitch. And Lee a sharp foul into the net, makes it 1-2. Tied ball game 5-5 in the top of the second. 1-2 count. Here's the pitch. Off the edge, ball 2. Lee, like we mentioned, one of the stronger hitters in this lineup, batting .395. That's batting .395, 12 RBIs on the season. Here's the 2-2 pitch. And she fouls that, nearly taken out. Her coach over at third base. Two balls, 2 strikes, no outs. Alyssa Lopez starting to get in a bit of a hole in the top of the second. Here's the 2-2. That's low into the left-handed batter's box. Makes it a full count. Trying to keep the bases from getting loaded. Not the worst thing in the world. Brings in the double play. But you just love to get the out anyways. And it does load up the bases. Low and inside. Lee takes the walk. She'll head to first. And the bases are loaded with no outs for Rockford. Hajiq will call a timeout and head out to the pitcher's mound to chat with Lopez. If you're the Cougars, you're starting to not like where the pitching staff's trending today. You've got a doubleheader. Your starter in game 1 goes out after just 2 outs and 4 runs allowed. You bring in your second pitcher, Alyssa Lopez. You hope you can get some distance out of her. And so far, she's in a hole in the top of the second, already given up a run, and the bases are loaded with no outs. And a slugger up to the plate, Liz Moyes. Picked up a base hit her last time up. This time takes that low for ball 1. That wind out towards left field Still whipping, not as strong, but it's still there. 1-0 count on Moise. Here's the pitch. And she's going to ground that over to short. Auger gets it going home. There's one. And a perfectly executed defensive play from the Cougars. It got the force at home. Take the force at home. Cut down the lead runner. So now you've got 1 out with the bases loaded. And up to the plate comes Peyton Willenkamp.
Number 18, Peyton Willenkamp.
Willenkamp today, an RBI knock. That shakes that first pitch off the plate for a ball. You're more than okay with those kind of contact in this situation. That pitch off the plate again, ball 2. Soft grounders in the infield, those will work as long as you get a good jump on it. What you don't want is anything into the outfield. Or a 3-0 count. Willenkamp in a hitter's count, and Lopez got to find a way out of it. You walk in a run if you throw ball 4. Here's the 3-0. And there it is, a 4-pitch walk with the bases loaded. Gives Rockford the lead back 6-5. As Coach O'Malley Fisher going to come in and make a substitution. Alyssa Lopez comes into the game. Gets the Cougars out of the first and gets in a hole. Can't get out of it in the top of the second. Our second pitching change already today for the Cougars. As into the game for CUC comes Eden Pufall. She'll get warmed up, and we'll be back in just a minute on the Cougar Sports Network. And we're back on the Cougar Sports Network. Up to the plate with the bases loaded and 1 out is Olivia Lysott. Lysott, a no-doubter to the scoreboard her first time up at the plate. Got another chance to drive in some runs here. First pitch from Pufall, straight gassed. And Lysott can't catch up to it. Pufall on the year, 29 2/3 innings pitched, got a 5.19 ERA. As that pitch does catch the zone. 0-2 count on Lysott. Exactly what you want out of the relief from the bullpen. Pufall leads all Cougars pitchers in strikeouts this year with 15. As here's the 0-2. That one's low for ball 1. So Lysott will sit back on it. Yeah, and this is a Rockford team that, outside of your top 4 hitters, you don't really have a large sample size. Lysott just 26 at-bats coming into this at-bat as she sends a laser foul off the netting. Stays in the at-bat with a 1-2 count. On deck for Rockford is McKenna Morris. And in the hole is Mia Costantino. Morris will bat as long as you don't get a double play. Costantino needs a runner to get on safely. Here's the 1-2 pitch. And that's floated foul over first base. That wind's still blowing out a bit more east than southeast, but it's changing direction a lot out there. The flag getting whipped around. As here's the 1-2 pitch on the way. Pufall stepping back up to the rubber. She'll get the call, step, wind, and fire. And that's another foul ball to the same spot into Division Street. 1-2 count. Lysott just a tick behind Pufall right now. Pufall bringing a higher velocity than the last two pitchers for the Cougs. As that one's in the dirt before it gets to the plate. Ball 2. So Lysott's able to bring it to an even count. Working some distance out of the Cougars' arms. Here's the 2-2 on the way. Pufall fires. High, ball 3, and it's a full count. Lysott's done enough to stay alive, and now she's got it. 3-2. Payoff pitch on the way. And that's popped foul. And it'll get down. Lysott stays alive, gets it far enough into foul territory that none of the Cougars can get there. Stays at a full count, full count. Pufall back into the mound, back onto the rubber. Here's a payoff pitch again. Swing and a miss! Strike 3! Pufall fired up! As she gets Lysott going at the high heat. Never caught up to it, never on level with it, and that's out number 2. 2 outs and the base is loaded. Up to the plate is McKenna Morris. A no doubter for her as well, her last time up at the plate. Her first home run of the year. She takes that first pitch low for ball 1. One-oh count. Pitch on the way. Off the plate, ball 2. This time, Morris starting things out in the hitter's count. Two balls, no strikes, bases loaded, 2 outs. Pufall fires. In there, ball 3. As much of a hitter's count as you can get. Pufall trying to get out of the inning without allowing any more damage. Morris is going to have the bat on the shoulder in this for this pitch. Pufall fires. And that's low, ball 4. A 4-pitch walk after the K. Morris heads to first. In to score is Lee, and it's a 7-5 lead for Rockford. And after that first inning, we got a lot of contact and balls put in play from Rockford this inning. The Cougars still giving up contact, but starting to struggle to find the strike zone a little bit. This time, Pufall fires that in for a first pitch strike. 0-1 count on Cosentino. Cosentino lined out to short her first time up today. And here's the 0-1. That's grounded over to third. Cosentino running towards first. What a play! From the third baseman. Jasmine Gonzalez charging in, grabbing it with the glove and pitching it to the catcher, Hajik, to cut down the runner at home. A nice heads-up play. Probably aren't going to get the runner at first. And that ends the inning. Damage is done, but the Cougars able to strand the bases loaded. They keep more damage off the board, and they head to the bottom of the second, trailing by just 2. It's 7-5 Rockford when we come back on the Cougar Sports Network. And we're back for the bottom of the second. Back out on the mound for another inning of work is McKenna Morris, who's had a productive day at the plate. Now she's going to look to right the ship on the mound. Gave up 5 earned runs in the first. Her team's got a 2-run lead back, and she's looking to keep it there. First pitch on Goolsby goes for a ball. 1-0 count. Morris fires again. Off the plate. Ball 2, 2-0 count. Two balls, no strikes on Goolsby. Takes it high. Got that ultimate hitters count, 3-0. Morris got to find the zone. And she does, firing it straight down the middle for strike 1. 3 balls, 1 strike. Morris fires again. That's grounded foul, brings it to a full count. 3-2. Morris back on the rubber. Here's the payoff pitch. Low ball 4. Goolsby draws the walk, and the leadoff man's on again for the Cougs. Runner at first, no outs for Arissa Santos.
Now batting number 15, Arissa Santos.
So another productive start to the inning for the Cougs. That first pitch is high and wide for ball 1. 1-0 count on Santos. Her first time up the plate. Picked up a single. As that ball low again, ball 2, 2-0 count. Morris still struggling to find the zone. Had that problem in the first inning, still struggling with it in the second. 2-0's high. It's another 3-0 count. You don't like a first pitch ball. You don't like a first 3-pitch ball. It's another ultimate hitters count for Arissa Santos. The 3-0. Oh, and it just catches the bottom of the zone. Official not calling it straight away. Santos already headed to first. She tracks back to the box. 3-1 count now. And that's grounded to the third. Fair ball! It'll get over to the Rockford dugout. Into third safely is Goolsby. In the second standing is Santos. So it's second and third, no outs for the Cougs. As we're going to get a pinch runner. Coach O'Malley Fisher makes the change. Elena Pilas coming in to run for Arissa Santos. And this is pretty much as good of a start to the inning as you can get. Runners at second and third. After you get and that is a base hit, but it's a base hit that works out perfectly for you. It takes a long time for the defense to get to the ball. And with the contested slide at third, you have time to get to second. 2 in scoring position for Melissa Hajik. Drove in a run on an RBI double earlier today. She's got another opportunity to add to that total. As she fouls that behind the plate, 1-1 count. One ball and 1 strike on Hajik. That floater dropping in wide for a ball. So Morris hasn't brought that one back in a while. Finally goes to it again. Just that high velo difference. As Ajik, sharp to short. They're going to go home. And Goldsby's safe. They throw into the outfield. Pilas on her way home. She will score. Ajik's into second. A defensive blunder from Rockford, and the Cougars tie the game up. Just a questionable decision on the infield. That's a tough play to make at the plate. On a deep grounder to short, it's going to be hard to get because you got to get the tag down. It's not a force. And then panicking on the throw to third. Would have had the out at first if you went there. Instead, it's no outs and a runner at second, and the game's tied at 7. Ajik, productive again. As up to the plate is Michaela Morris. She'll get to work an at-bat for the first time today. Got hit on the first pitch of her first at-bat today. Finds herself in a 1-1 count to start this one. One ball, one strike. Morris fires, and Michaela Morris, a sharp grounder to third. And she's safe at first. Took a while for Nicole Paris to field that one. It kind of ate her up a bit. She couldn't find it. It was straight under her. So Michaela Morris safe at first. Rockford will take a timeout to give McKenna Morris a chance to catch her breath. Still no outs in the bottom of the second. Cougars got runners at first and second. We're tied at 7. As up to the plate comes Alyssa Campos. Drove in a pair on a single in the first. As she takes that first pitch for a strike. No balls, one strike. That's under the second baseman's glove, into right field, to the wall. 1 run scores. Michaela Morris held at third. It's another RBI single for Alyssa Campos, who continues to make up the damage allowed in the first inning, her 3rd RBI of the day. And the Cougars take the lead back 8-7. Don't take it. If you're the Cougars, you're giving up a lot of runs on the defensive side, but you're scoring a lot, too, as we're finally going to get a pitching change for Rockford. Out of the game is McKenna Morris. Into the game is Kendall Knoll. We'll get her first action on the mound when we come back on the Cougar Sports Network. And we're back on the Cougar Sports Network. Kendall Knoll onto the mound. Knoll, she's gotten the most action out there for Rockford, coming today with 41 innings pitched, and it's a bit of a Raldis Chapman type stat line out there for Knoll. He had a great season last year. You go to those other years, in between, bit rough. It's going to be a strikeout or a walk. 17 walks, 32 strikeouts for Knoll. She fires that one in for a strike. 44 earned runs allowed through 41 innings pitched for a 7.51 ERA. Bit of a 2 true outcomes kind of pitcher for Kendall Knoll as it's an 0-1 count on Lorenis, who drops the bunt foul. 0-2 count now. And this is honestly the exact kind of pitcher you want in the game. Runners at the corners, no outs. You want to rack up some Ks. Don't let any balls get put in play, as here's the 0-2 from Knoll. That's fouled off again. Lorenis just going to fight to stay alive in this at-bat. She's trapped in an 0-2 count. Here's the 0-2 pitch. That's in the dirt for ball one. One-two count. Knoll back on the rubber. Winds and fires. Lorenis. That's a dead ball. Took a Lorenis swung on it, fouled it down. It was off of her leg into play. The official rang her up. That should just be a dead ball foul. Yeah, she shouldn't be out on that. And your first base coach for the Cougars, Dave Galitko, adamant, just telling Lorenis, do not go back to the dugout. You're staying out on the field. And the officials convene, check. They get a reminder. Yeah, that's what the rule is. And Lorenis back out there. That was a pretty clear foul ball from where we're sitting. As that one's behind home plate. Campos advances to second. They keep Morris at third. And it moves two into scoring position. And now Lorenis is in a 2-2 count. Evens it up after going down 0-2. Here's the 2-2 from Knoll. Swing and a miss. Strike three. Gets Lorenis going low. And there's out number one. First step down for Rockford as Lindley Southern will come up to the plate for the Cougars. Southern base knocker first time up. Bunts that foul to start. A great effort over at third base from Paris, but all for naught as it's foul. 0-1 count on Southern. And you got a bit of a change of the pitchers she's faced today. Morris, she was able to tag on that super slow floaty off speed. This time Knoll, a bit more gas as she's going to ground out to third. Clean play over there from Paris. Firing it over to Willenkamp. There's out number two. Kendall Knoll getting done what you need to get done. On the mound, strikeout, infield grounder over to third. Exactly where you want the grounder to go, honestly, when you got runners at second and third. So now with two outs, up to the plate comes Eliza Auger. And she's hit. Knoll tags her right on the side of the leg. And Kendall Knoll, with that gas comes a little bit of control issues sometimes. That'll be her 12th batter hit on the season. As Auger heads to first, so the base is loaded up again for the Cougs, with Emily Garcia coming back up to the plate. So for the second inning today, all 9 Cougars will bat. And she takes first pitch for a strike. And what's most impressive for Rockford is that with the Cougars batting around in back-to-back innings, honestly only giving up 8 runs, it's a bit of a win for the Regents. Knoll fires that one high and outside for ball one. to see you today. Hit by pitch. The grounder, that was over to third. Paris makes a smart move, takes it herself to the bag for out number 3. Kendall Knoll into the game with runners at the corners and no outs, and she's able to get the next 3 of the next 4. Keep the Cougars off the board again. We head to the top of the 3rd with a 1-run lead. Concordia leading Rockford 8-7 when we come back on the Cougar Sports Network. And we're back on the Cougar Sports Network. In what has been a chaotic game 1 of today's doubleheader so far, Cougars leading 8-7. Both of these teams scoring at least 3 runs in every single inning so far. And Pufal will fire that in for a strike. Both of these teams pitching struggling early on. They start to find a bit of heat out of the bullpen. Pufal finished off the 2nd inning strong. She's off to a strong start with a first pitch strike in the 3rd. 1-1 count for Sophia Halsey. Halsey started off the top of the 2nd with a base hit. Came around to score. She's got a 1-1 count to start this at bat. Pufal fires and hits her. Runs inside. They're going to give her the base. Pufal is not happy. She says that Halsey leaned into it. The official is not even going to consider it. As Halsey will take her base. Leadoff runner on again for the Regents, as up to the plate comes Kieran Madigan. Madigan reached on an error her first time up. And she's going to send a worm burner up the middle. It gets past Auger. They hold the runners at first and second. It gets bobbled around. Mikyler Morris a bit slow to get up. Flashing the thumbs up from center field. It's a good sign for the Cougars on what was a awkward set of throws to end the play, and it still ends with just each runner moving 1 base. Runners at first and second with no outs for the top of the order. If you get deja vu, this is exactly like the top of the 2nd. Halsey at 2nd, Madigan at 1st for Tommy Hill. As that she shows bunt for that first pitch, it's in there for a strike. A 1 count on Hill. Pufal fires. And it's in there for another strike. So Hill in an 0-2 count, probably going to have to back off of the bunt. No balls, 2 strikes for Hill. That time, going to swing. It's in the dirt before it gets to the plate. 1-2 count. You know, law of averages says that at some point you're going to start to see the scoring kind of even out for these teams. So far, Rockford off to a similar start in this inning. Cougars want to put a stop to that as that's fouled back. A swinging foul from Hill, so the at-bat stays alive. She did go through a full swing. 1-2 count. on Hill. Pufall winds and fires. In there! Strike 3! Peyton the corner! Another K for Eden Pufall as Hill heads back to the dugout. Brooklyn Lee will step back up to the plate. Lee on the day. A walk and a single, 1 for 1. Pufall fires. Off the edge, ball 1. And the ability to get the strikeout is just so huge, especially when you start off an inning like that, because now you have an out, but nothing changes on the base paths. We've seen today a few sack grounders, sack bunts, and that one floated over Lorenas at first into right field. They're going to send Halsey, and Rockford going to get caught in a rundown, and everyone's safe. Both teams, honestly, with some blunders on that play, and it works out for Rockford. Halsey probably could have made it home. They hesitate sending her at third. They don't hesitate bringing Madigan around second. She's at third, on third base. Halsey's halfway home. You get a rundown. Madigan sprinting back to second, and then just the throw a bit under the glove at third. And everyone's safe. Bases loaded, 1 out for Liz Moyes. And Moyes, the biggest threat in this Rockford lineup. So far damageless today, 0 for 2. She'll start this at-bat off with a 1-1 count. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Pufall tightens the glove, back onto the rubber. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Runs inside, ball 2. At this point, you'd be more than content with drawing a walk. Pufall winds and fires. That's grounded to third. They go home. They get one there. They don't get Moyes at first. So again, another smart play from Campos at third. Able to cut down the lead runner at home. So with 2 outs and the bases loaded, up to the plate comes Peyton Willenkamp. Pufall fires that in for a first pitch strike. Willenkamp on the day, single and a walk herself. Cougars trying to get out of the inning, damageless. Willenkamp fouls that down the right field line into the trees. Sets up an 0-2 count. No balls, 2 strikes. Bases loaded, 2 outs for Willenkamp. Pufall steps back up to the rubber, fires. That's grounded straight back to Pufall, over to first, and for the first time today, a team gets through half of an inning without scoring a run. Rockford strands the bases loaded after getting there with just 1 out. We head to the bottom of the third. Cougars going to bat with a lead for the first time today. It's 8-7 Concordia when we come back. And we're back for the bottom of the third. Concordia leading Rockford 8-7 through 2.5. And what's been a chaotic game so far. That top of the third, the first time today a team hasn't scored in an inning. Now Haley Goldsby for the second straight inning will lead things off for the Cougars. Drew a walk her first time up. And she'll take a first pitch strike this time. Part of that difference maker we're seeing out on the mound is for the Cougars, you have Pufall. For Rockford, you have Kendall Knoll. Both of those pitchers, kind of the strikeout pitchers on their stabs, and that strikeout ability kind of making the difference as of late. 1-1 count on Goldsby. Knoll fires. That's into right field and off the glove. Goldsby rounds first, headed for second. And the Cougars get a leadoff man in scoring position. Goldsby put a good swing on it. Lysott just misjudging it. Looked like she wasn't going to move, realized she had to go back, had to reach straight up for it, closed the glove early, even after all of that. It bounces to the wall. Now you got a runner at second, no outs. They lay down the bunt. Everyone runs into each other. Willenkamp's on the ground. Miscommunication in front of the plate, and it's all going Cougars to start this inning. Goldsby at third. Over at first is Pilas, who reaches base on the bunt single. So it's runners at the corners for Melissa Hajik. Knoll fires outside, ball one. Hajik's 1 for 2 with 3 RBIs today. Having a strong day at the plate. The 1-0. That's bunted foul. One on Hajik. Knoll winds and fires. Swing and a miss and a big one from Hajik. Gets her in a 1-2 count. Knoll trying to get out of an early jam. Gets the call. Steps in and fires. Off the edge, 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. Knoll fires it in. That's lifted deep into center field. Off the wall. Pilas rounding second. Hajik into second. It's an RBI double for Melissa Hajik. Tagging that to the wall, and the Cougars extend the lead to 9-7. Get a little bit of early insurance. 2-run lead, and you still have no outs with runners at second and third for McKyler Morris. Knoll fires. That's tipped foul. Morris today hit by a pitch, picked up a single. Morris, one of the better Cougar hitters at getting that ball into the outfield. 9 doubles, 2 triples on the day. Led the Cougars in home runs last year during her sophomore campaign. Yet to pick up her first today. First this year. The 1-1 to Morris. Off the plate, 2-1. Here's the 2-1 pitch from Knoll. Off the plate again, 3-1 count on McKyler Morris, and kind of get the strategy from Kendall Knoll. Not too much sense in pitching to Morris and giving her a pitch to hit. You have an open base at first. Don't want to give her something she can tag deep, and she takes that high for ball 4. Ball 4, another walk for Knoll. And up to the plate with the bases juiced is Alyssa Campos. Campos on the mound, gave up 4 runs in the first. She has made up for it at the plate. 2 for 2 with 3 RBIs and a run scored. And she's going to have a perfect opportunity to continue the damage. Bases loaded, no outs. Cougars already got 1 run this inning. They'd love to tag some more on. Knoll steps back in, winds, and fires. Catches the bottom of the zone. Strike 1. One-0 count. 0-1 count. Knoll fires again. That's low. That gets to the backstop. On her way home is Pilas. She scores. Everyone's safe. The Cougars extend the lead. Pilas got a perfect jump off the bag. I mean, it is a small field in the space constraints on the Concordia's campus. That is not much space for that ball to go beyond the backstop, and Pilas able to still get home. And Knoll fires that in for a strike, makes it a 1-2 count. Two true outcomes, ball in the dirt, gas in the zone for a strike. For Knoll, 1-2 pitch, that's off the plate, 2-2. So with the wild pitch and the run scoring, it does open up the bag at first, but at this point you don't want to keep walking runs over there. You got to get an out at some point. Kendall Knoll will fire again. That's grounded to third. It stays fair. Paris gets it over to first in time. Campos is out. Nobody scores. And Nicole Paris, a nice job of holding it just long enough over at third to keep the runners there. So with 1 out, the runner's still at second and third. It brings Maya Lorenas back up to the plate. Lorenas 0 for 1 on the day with a walk and a strikeout. And she grounds out over to third again. They're going to go home this time. They get Hajik at home. And the play call that time from the Cougars was go on contact, and probably the worst kind of hit to go on contact for. A bit of a sharp grounder to third. It's an easy throw home. And Hajik's not going to be able to get under that tag. So 2 outs, runners at the corners now. Lindley Southern up at the plate. She takes that first pitch for a strike. Kendall Knoll trying to limit the damage. The 0-1 pitch. Swung on and fouled. Ran inside on Southern. Makes it the pitcher's count 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes on Southern with 2 outs. Knoll fires. Off the plate, ball 1. Good hold. Got a base to give with second base open. You're just trying to get out of the inning without allowing any more damage. You don't want Southern to put this into the outfield. Here's the 1-2. That's high, ball 2. You can kind of tell Knoll's trying not to give Southern anything to hit. She'd love to end this off with a strikeout. Let's see if Knoll brings the gas. The 2-2. That's lifted deep to right field. Lysaught's able to get under it this time. Makes up for the error earlier. And that ends the inning. Cougars strand runners at the corners, but they still put 2 more across the plate. They lead 10-7. It's a 3-run game when we come back on the Cougars Sports Network. And we're back on the Cougar Sports Network. Rockford back up to the plate. Last time up, top of the third, no runs scored. First time that's happened today for either time. Still the only time that's happened today for either team. They were able to load up the bases, weren't able to do anything with it. As Eden Pufall continues to put in work on the mound, fires that one in for a strike. Cougars finally finding a pitcher today who was able to find the strike zone consistently. That's a great sign for the Cougars, as that one floated high for ball 1. 1-1 count on Lysaught. Lysaught today 1 for 2 with a homer. Pufall fires the 1-1. That's fouled back off the netting. Makes it a 1-2 count on Lysaught. Again, Lysaught on the year, limited sample size, just 26 at-bats coming into the day. Pufall fires the 1-2. In there for ball 2. Runs inside. Counts even at 2. Pufall gets the call, steps, winds and fires. That's low, full count. Lysaught works her way back into it. Here's the payoff pitch from Pufall. High for ball 4. Leadoff runners on again for the Regents. Lysaught takes her base. And that'll bring up to the plate Kendall Knoll. As McKenna Morris gets subbed out, Kendall Knoll will take to the plate. Her first at-bat today. Pufall fires that in for a strike. Oh, starts it off with another first pitch strike, 0-1 count. Knoll on the season, one of the few eligible batters in that set with getting enough at-bats this year. 36 at-bats, batting just 194. And she starts this at-bat off with a 1-1 count. That's 4 hits on 25 at-bats. Gets on base at a great percentage, though, 475. As she pulls back on the bunt, takes the ball, and there's a skill to drawing walks. Kendall Knoll leading Rockford in walks drawn by more than double the next highest player. 13 walks on the year for Kendall Knoll. Been hit by a pitch twice. So even while batting 160, still got a 475 on base percentage as she gets into a 3-1 count. Ajik will call the timeout, head out, and check on Pufal. At the end of the day, you love having a batter who can just get on base. It might not be a game-changing batter. Can't change it with one swing all too often, but getting on base and getting on base is a win, no matter how you do it. And Kendall on our way to getting another base here. 3-1 count on the pitcher. Pufal steps back into it, winds and fires. Bunts down from Knoll, fired over to first for an out. They get Knoll. She moves the runner up to second. So with one out and a man in scoring position, up to the plate comes Mia Cosentino. Cosentino, one of those few batters on Rockford today who's hitless. She's 0 for 2 today. Came into the game batting .370. As Pufal fires. Catches his own, strike one. Eden Pufal doing a great job of finding the zone on those first pitches, getting that first pitch strike. The 0-1 pitch on the way. Off the plate, 1-1 count now. One ball, one strike, one out on Cosentino. And that's grounded over to short, fielded by Auger. They go to third, and they get the lead runner. A nice heads-up play from Auger. And now it's 2 outs with a runner at first. Cougars defense stepping it up in the last couple of innings. Sophia Halsey stepping up to the plate with 2 outs and a runner at first. Pufal fires. That's in the dirt for ball one. One 0 count. High ball 2. Two 0 strike. On the way, Pufal fires it low, 3-0 count. It's another one of those days you got multiple games going on at Concordia at the same time. Cougar baseball in action just across the way on the backside of the softball field. As you hear the uproar from over there, Cougars leading that game 1-0 off a Brandon Mahler home run. As Pufal fires that in for a strike, 3-1 count. The 3-1 pitch on the way. In there, strike 2. Pufal works her way back into it. And they've got a full count. Here comes the payoff pitch. Pufal stepping back onto the rubber. Winds and fires. That's into left field for a base hit. They keep Cosentino at second. But Halsey keeps the line moving. Her second hit of the day. And puts runners at first and second for Rockford as we get a mound visit for the Cougars. Coach O'Malley Fisher wanting to just get a quick chat in with her team. If you can keep Rockford off the board 2 straight innings, it sets you up in a nice position as you cross the halfway point of the game. Cougars leading by 3 right now. Coming up to the plate for Rockford is Kieran Madigan. Madigan on the year hasn't been doing too great at the plate. She's been doing solid today. 1 for 2 so far. Reached base on an error and then a single. Cougars take their places back out on the field. Pufall gets the mask back on and gets set up. Winds and fires Madigan. That's fouled straight back over the netting. 0-1 count on Madigan. Runners at first and second for Madigan. Pufall steps back onto the rubber and fires. And that's chopped into right field, and it's down for a hit. Coming in to score is Cosentino. It's an RBI single for Madigan, and that's kind of one you just put the hands up, you shrug the shoulders. It's kind of like, what could I have done? You had a little bit of that luck on the field. It's part of the game, and we've seen that a lot today. Those bloop hits just land for both teams, just landing in that short outfield space. That one for Madigan, just a choppy kind of golf swing that just pops it up, but it's right into that short right field. Garcia can't get there, and Southern can't get there. And you get the base hit, you get the RBI, and it's a 2-run game. 10-8 score, Cougars leading. 0-1 count. Pitch on the way. That's pops towards short. Auger under it. That'll end the inning. Pufall limits the damage, but Rockford still pushes a run across. They shorten the gap a bit. It's back to a 2-run game. Concordia leading 10-8 when we come back on the Cougar Sports Network. And we're back on the Cougar Sports Network. Bottom of the fourth, past the halfway point of Game 1 today. Cougars leading 10-8 over the Regents as they get ready to come back up to the plate. Eliza Auger stepping into the box to kick things off for the Cougars. Auger 0 for 1 today, got hit by a pitch. Reach base safely with that as she floats that into short right field, and making the play is the second baseman, Cosentino, for out number 1. That time the blue pit doesn't get enough distance on it. So Kendall Knoll, 1 pitch, 1 out. As up to the plate comes Emily Garcia. And Cougars have scored runs in all 3 innings so far today. 5 in the first, 3 in the second, 2 in the third. As Knoll fires, Garcia pulls back on the bunt, and that goes for ball 1. One 1-0 count for Garcia. Pitch on the way. That's bunted. It stays fair, and they get Garcia at first. Nearly a perfect bunt. You get a bit more distance on it. Maybe works out. A nice play, a nice timing from Moise behind the plate to kind of let it go, see if it goes foul, and then pick it up the instant you realize it's not going foul. You get to first in time. You got 2 outs through the first 2 batters. And a first pitch strike to Haley Goldsby. Rockford turning it up in the bottom of the 4th. Trying to work through this Cougars lineup and get their offense back up to the plate when they're hot. 1-1 count on Goldsby. Goldsby today 0 for 1 with a walk and a hit by pitch. As she grounds that to short, picked up and slid over to first. Willenkamp makes the grab. 3 up, 3 down for the first time today. We head to the top of the 5th. Cougars still lead by 2. Rockford will try and bring that back when we come back on the Cougars Sports Network. And we're back for the top of the 5th. Rockford trailing by 2. It's 10-8. They want to claw it back here. Pufall back out on the mound. Fires that high for ball 1. Top of the 4th, Pufall. First pitch strike in every at-bat. That one, first pitch ball. So Brooklyn Lee gets a start to the at-bat she wants. Lee today 2 for 2 with a walk. And that one's way high, all the way to the backstop. Lee has had a very productive day today. On top of those 2 hits, she's scored twice. Had some nice base running moments. .2-0 pitch on the way. That's drilled straight at Emily Garcia at second. You're really getting to see every part of the sport today. Sometimes you get a nice, well-struck line drive like that goes for an out straight at somebody. Other times you get an awkward blooper pop-up. It drops for a single. It can be frustrating. It can be great, depending on how it works out for you. 1-0 count to start the at-bat for Liz Moise, who today has struggled at the plate, 0 for 3 with a pair of grounders. Last 2 at-bats, she's had the bases loaded and she's grounded out to short both times. She'll start this at-bat in a 2-0 count. On the year, she's been remarkably productive at the plate. Today proving to be a bit of an anomaly so far. 2-0 on the way. That's low. 3-0 count for Moise. You want to get somebody on base for Rockford. Steps back in. Pufall steps back onto the rubber. 3-0 on the way. As fires it straight down the middle for a strike. Moise keeping the bat on the shoulder the whole way through. 3-1 count. Pufall gets the call, steps, winds, fires. That's grounded to short. Picked on the hop, over to first. Another 6-3 grounder. Moyes grounded to short 3 times today. This time she does get out and doesn't take the fielder's choice. That's 2 outs, nobody on, as Peyton Willenkamp steps back up to the plate. Pitching, starting defense, starting to dial in now for both of these squads. And Willenkamp fouls that down the right field line for strike 1. Cougars reset quickly. It's an 0-1 count on Willenkamp. She's 1 for 2 on the day with a couple of RBIs. Also has a walk, and that one kind of slipping out of Pufall's hands on the release. It's trying to be a bit of a curveball. Doesn't get any power behind it. It floats its way to Hajik's glove. The 1-1. Pufall fires. That's drilled into right field for a base hit. Rockford gets a man aboard with 2 outs. That'll bring Olivia Lysott up to the plate. Lysott 1 for 2 on the day with a walk. Drilled a homer back in the first. Pick up her 2 RBIs. Wind died down a bit in that direction. She takes that high for ball 1. Came into the day batting .500. She's stayed at that 500 mark. 1-0 count on Lysott. Pufall steps, winds, fires. 2-0 count on Lysott. And the Cougars going to get a quick mound visit. Saw this last inning from Coach O'Malley Fisher. Just going out there and quickly getting her team reset. Trying to get out of the inning with as minimal damage as possible. Right now, the Cougars, it's been a great day offensively for them, but those rough defensive innings in the first and second, keeping it at a very close game. Just a 2-run difference, 10-8 in favor of Concordia. Rockford actually out-hitting the Cougars through the start of the game. The 2-0 on the way from Pufall. She fires. That's low for ball 3. Hitters count for Lysott. Drew Walker last time up. Pufall fires. And it's in there for a strike. High in the zone. He stay in the count. 3 balls and 1 strike. Pufall fires again. That's floated into right field. Southern settling under it, making the grab to end the inning. Rockford strands a runner at first. Don't fail to score a run. We head to the bottom of the 5th. Cougars still leading 10-8. We'll be back on the Cougars Sports Network. Welcome back to the Cougar Sports Network. It's the bottom of the fifth. Concordia leading Rockford at 10-8. As we head to the bottom of the fifth, Elena Pilas leading off for CUC. Pilas picked up a single in her first at bat this time. Fouls the first pitch back. 0-1 count. The ball is one strike. Kendall Knoll winds and fires. That's popped up to second. Play is made by Cosentino for out number one. 2 pitches, 1 out. Nice start to the inning for Knoll. She went 3 up, 3 down in the bottom of the fourth. Wants to do so again here. Their team trailing, but only behind 2. If you can keep the Cougars at 10, give your offense a good chance to battle back into it. First pitch to Hajik off the plate. Hajik's had a great day batting so far. 2 for 3 with 4 RBIs, a pair of doubles. And that one grounded hot to second. Cosentino fires it over to first. Willenkamp well off the bag, so Hajik safe at first. Cougars get a runner on with 1 out. Just kind of a hard hit. Willenkamp doesn't want to play with it and let it get past her. Smart play as it keeps the runner at first. So with Hajik on base, Mykyler Morris steps into the box for the Cougars. Morris 1 for 1 on the day. A single, a walk, and a hit by pitch. Here's the 0-1. And it's grounded foul off her shin. Steps out of the box to reset. Oh-1 count. Or 0-2 count. No balls, 2 strikes on Morris. Knoll fires high for ball 1. 1-2 count now. Runner at first, 1 out for the Cougars. Morris swings and misses. Low. It's foul tip. So she stays alive. A bit of a Javi Baez swing there. Able to just get enough contact to stay in it. Here's the 1-2 pitch from Knoll. And Morris lifts that to center field. Tracking back and settling under it. For the out is Madigan. 2 away. Runner still at first. As up to the plate comes Alyssa Campos. Campos 2 for 3 today with 3 RBIs. Grounded out to third, her last time up at the plate. One 0 pitch on the way. In there for a strike. 1-1 count on the third baseman. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That's straight to second base. Cosentino snags it. And takes a fall afterwards. Nice reach for the grab. That'll end the inning. 4 up, 3 down. This time for Knoll. She continues to get into a groove and work her way through the Cougars lineup. We head to the top of the 6th. Cougars are leading by 2. We'll have a pitching change for Concordia. We come back out on the mound to start for the Cougars, Katie Davis. We'll be right back on the Cougars Sports Network. And we're back on the Cougar Sports Network. Concordia leading Rockford 10-8 in the top of the sixth. The Regents trying to get back into this one. Last scored in the fourth. Now have a new pitcher on the mound facing Katie Davis, replacing Egan Pufall. Cougars trying to keep a fresh arm on the rubber. Kendall Knoll got on base her first time up. Trying to get back up there again as she takes that second pitch for a strike. 1-1 count on Knoll. Davis on the year through 25 innings pitched a 6.16 ERA. As Knoll pops that foul. And I think Lorenas made the play as the Cougars infield celebrating. Knoll will head to the dugout. Maya Lorenas, a breakneck sprint towards the fence, able to make the foul catch for out number one. So 1 out already as Mia Cosentino comes up to the plate for the Regents. And she'll take that on the low corner for strike one. A 0-1 count. Davis fires, and Cosentino way out ahead of it for strike two. Oh, 2 from Davis. High for ball one. One, 2 count. Davis steps back in. Winds and fires. Low for ball two. Two pitch on the way. Tipped foul. Cosentino stays alive. Davis will fire. Oh, and it catches the inside edge. Strike three. Katie Davis rings her up for out number two, painting the corner. That'll bring Sophia Halsey up to the plate with 2 outs and nobody on. Katie Davis dealing through those first 2 batters. Halsey's had a pretty good day at the plate so far, 2 for 2. And a run scored. Got hit by a pitch as well. 1-0 count. Davis fires. That's fouled back for strike one. One ball, 1 strike, 2 outs for Halsey. Davis fires. Low for ball two. Two and one's the count. Davis fires. High for ball three. Just missing the zone. The 3-1 count, Halsey steps back in and pops that up. Straight above the mound. Coming over for it is Campos to make the play. 1, 2, 3 for Katie Davis. As the Cougars make quick work of Rockford in the 6th inning. We head to the bottom of the 6th. Cougars still leading by 2 when we come back. And we're back on the Cougar Sports Network. Stepping in the box to lead things off for CUC is Julia Padaluna. Pinch hitting for Maya Lorenas. And Knoll fires that on the inside edge for strike one. Rockford, you want to get through this inning quick as you can. Keep the Cougars off the board. Keep the gap at 2. You got one more chance on offense in the top of the 7th. And you want to keep that gap attainable. Cougars haven't scored in the last 2 innings. Here's the 1-1. Fouled down by Padaluna, 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes on Padaluna, off the edge, ball 2. Even at 2. Knoll steps back onto the rubber, winds and fires. And Padaluna tried to check the swing. When it was high enough, it was where her swing was. That's fouled back. Still even at 2. Knoll steps and fires. In the dirt for ball 3. It's full. 3-2 on Padaluna. Padaluna on the year, 391 average. Smallish sample size, but enough. Knoll fires. That's off the plate. Ball 4. Julia Padaluna draws the walk. And the Cougars get the leadoff runner on in the bottom of the 6th. Up to the plate now for the Cougs is Charlize Gonzalez. Pinch hitting for Lindley Southern. Knoll fires it inside for ball 1. Started this inning off very strong. Starting to lose that command a little bit. The 1-0 on the way. It's fouled off by Gonzalez, makes it a 1-1 count. Knoll back onto the rubber. Winds, steps, and fires. That's way off the plate. Ball 2. Knoll above 65 pitches thrown on. You can kind of see that command that earlier in the day. It's a striker. It's just off the plate. Now it's a striker. It's well off the plate. 2-1 pitch is popped up into short right field. Under it is Cosentina for out number 1. That'll make it. That'll bring up to the plate Eliza Auger. A runner on first and 1 out. Auger 0 for 2 today. Was hit by a pitch, got an RBI on a fielder's choice. She takes pitch 1 for a strike. Oh, 1 count, Knoll fires. Off the plate, 1-1. One ball, 1 strike, 1 out, runner at first. That's a short, grounder to short. Picked up, over to first. In time! The throw over just beats auger. Lee had to charge that ball. It was a soft grounder. She's able to make the throw over to Willenkamp in time. So 2 outs, runner at second. Does move the runner ahead. Is up to the plate is Emily Garcia with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position, and she's hit. Runs way inside, off the back of the ankle, it looked like. That'll put runners at first and second for Haley Goldsby. Goldsby will step back into the box. 0 for 2 on the day. A walk and a hit by pitch, and she takes that first pitch for a strike. 0-1 count on Goldsby. Knoll fires. That's fouled down, 0-2. First and second, 2 outs. Knoll trying to get out of the inning and get her team back up to the plate. Here's the 0-2 pitch. And that's lifted deep to left. At the wall! Off the base of the wall. Run runs in. Here comes Garcia. 2-run score. It's a 2 RBI double for Haley Goldsby. Gave it a ride. And it looked like Tommy Hill almost thought that one was gone. She kind of just was staring at the wall for a bit. And Goldsby, an extra base knock. Cougars now lead by 4. And up to the plate with a runner in scoring position is Arissa Santos. Re-entering the game to pinch hit for Elena Pilas, who replaced her earlier. Knoll fires. That's off the plate, ball 1. One-0 count. Knoll fires. That's grounded foul, makes it 1-1. Knoll winds and fires. That catches the top corner for a strike. Now it's a 1-2 count on Santos. Damage has been done. You got to get out of the inning now. Knoll will step back in, step, wind, and fire. And that's a sharp foul down the left field line. Keeps the count at 1-2. Santos stays alive. One ball and 2 strikes. Pitch on the way. Another foul down the left field line. Santos getting out ahead of these pitches from Knoll. Knoll closing in on 80 pitches thrown since she came into the game. Pitch on the way. Another grounder down the left field baseline. That one much sharper. But Santos just out ahead of it on these pitches that are running inside, and she's keeping the at-bat alive. On you go. Hope something good will happen. Knoll fires. That's into right field for a base hit. There's a something good. Goldsby comes home. She will score. It's a 5-run lead for the Cougars. And in the bottom of the 6th, just keep on piling on the insurance. as Melissa Hajik steps back up to the plate for the Cougs. Again, she has had a fantastic day. 3 for 4, 4 RBIs and 2 doubles. As she takes that first pitch off the plate for a ball. Knoll, frustrating last couple of at-bats, getting batters into 2-strike counts, but not able to finish the job. The 1-0 on Hajik is on the way. Make it a 2-0. At this point, too, the more runs get on, the less of a chance you feel like your offense has. You lose a bit of that momentum. 2 balls, no strikes. Knoll fires. That's flown into right field. That'll drop for a hit. Hajik's going for second. Santos into third. Hajik's up to second on the throw, and the Cougars keep the line moving. Melissa Hajik, another base hit. Not too sure about the decision to throw to third there. Definitely would have gotten Hajik at second. At that point, you're just trying to get the out. So now it's 2 runners in scoring position for Mikayla Morris. Cougars starting to try and pile it on. And Morris, short grounder to third. They go to first. In time for out number 3. Rockford gets out of the inning, but the Cougars add some much-needed insurance. A 5-run lead, 13-8. As we head into the top of the 7th. And the Cougars not actually leaving the base path. Hajik's still over at third. Morris is at first. And then the official was a good and convenient call of the out. O'Malley Fisher had an appeal for, I believe, may have been that the ball bounced off the ground and was not in Wheelenkamp's glove at first base. The officials won't overturn it. So we're headed to the top of the 7th. Rockford, a lot of work to do to get back into this one. They trail 13-8 when we come back. All right, let's bring it back. Back on the Cougar Sports Network. Top of the 7th. Last chance for Rockford as they trail by 5. They'll be led off by Kieran Madigan going up against Katie Davis. And Madigan pops that up foul towards third. Campos makes the play. 1 pitch, 1 out. Cougars already starting to make quick work of this Rockford lineup. So now you just got 2 outs remaining as Tommy Hill comes up to the plate. Hill on the day has struggled 0 for 4. Got an RBI on a fielder's choice earlier, but not the day she wanted to have. As that pitch from Davis is in the dirt for ball 1. One-0 count. Davis fires. That's flown to second for out number 1. Garcia makes the grab. 0 for 5 day for Tommy Hill. And with 2 outs, Brooklyn Lee will come up to the plate trying to keep her team alive. Going to take a heck of a rally trailing by 5 at this point. Katie Davis trying to slam the door. in there for a strike. 0-1 count. Davis steps, winds, and fires off the plate. Ball 1. One pitch on the way. That's popped foul, and that'll get out of play. One, 2 count on Lee. If you can get Lee on base, you got Liz Moyes on deck, Peyton Willenkamp in the hole. Davis trying to end it here. The 1-2 on the way. Davis delivers. High, but for ball 2. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Just off the edge for ball 3. Full count. Here's the payoff pitch for the game. That's fouled down the right field line. Lee will stay alive and get another chance. Steps back into the box. It's a full count. Davis back on the rubber. Payoff pitch again. That's into right field. Garcia under it, and the Cougars take game 1. A chaotic game 1. Won by the Cougars 13-8. Rockford and Cougars trading blows early, and the Cougars outlast them. A 5-run win for CUC in game number 1. Punctuated by a strong performances out of the bullpen from Eden Pufall and Katie Davis. Melissa Hajik, a great day at the plate. Going 4 for 5 with 4 RBIs. As we finish up game 1, Cougars winning 13-8. Rockford, a pair of home runs. Olivia and Lysott and McKenna Morris going back-to-back in the first inning, but it's not enough. The Regents lose by 5. They fall to 4-5 in conference. Cougars pick up their second consecutive NAC win and move up to 3-8 in NAC play. They'll look to keep the momentum moving in game number 2 as we get ready for the second game of this doubleheader. Rockford a chance to bounce it back. The Cougars a chance for the sweep in game number 2 of this doubleheader. We'll be right back on the Cougar Sports Network.
Chicago Cougars Athletics broadcast. We hope to see you on campus very soon. If you would like to learn more about what Concordia Chicago has to offer, go to cuchicago.edu.